my name is Dr. Melissa Cohen. I am back because we are now in October of 2022. And what that means is there's actually a deadline coming up for October 31st, 2022 for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. So once again, if you are working in a public service sector specific position and you have student loans that you want to have forgiven under this program, there is a limited waiver through the Biden and the U.S. Department of Education that there's a new waiver program. I would say new. It's actually, they announced it of October of 2021. So it's been in effect for a year, but it ends on October 31st, 2022. So if you think you qualify for any type of public service loan forgiveness because you work in a public service loan position, you need to apply as soon as possible because the waiver will, these conditions of this special waiver, they will expire. And they will expire in less than 4 weeks. So let me go through some of the information here and then we can talk about this. So I actually got an email as well from my student loan provider. I am not a public service loan forgiveness waiver person. So they're sending this email out to everybody who has student loans, just in case you are. So what that means is basically you have to have 120 months, which is at 10 years, of qualifying employment through the public service sector. Now, if you applied recently, and I say within the last couple of years, the last couple of years before COVID, last 4 years, and you were denied, you need to reapply because they realized that there were some application things or student loan borrowers previously were told different things and then loans were changed, which then disqualified them. But that's what they're trying to clean up right now with this limited waiver. So I'm going to go through the details here and some of it, and just to make sure if you qualify or you think you may qualify, you need to go ahead and apply. Just because you want to get these student, and if you've been working for 10 years, you want to get these student loans forgiven, get them off your plate, get rid of them, as promised when you took out these loans. So I know there's so many haters out there and just saying pay your bills, and you're like, that's okay, but that was a choice I made 10 years ago to go work in a public sector position, knowing that my student loans were going to be paid off. I'm going to take a lower paid position. So it's not that you're not paying your student loans. You were given guidelines, you were given an opportunity, and then somewhere along the way, either you were told wrong information and therefore you made wrong decisions about converting student loans into something else. I don't know. Whatever happened, this is a program. If you qualify, you need to do it because it's what was the intention was promised to you 10 years ago. All right, so what hasn't changed in this waiver? So this program, the Public Student Loan Forgiveness Program, it's still going on. It's going to go past October, but this limited waiver portion is what's going to change. So let's start here, and I'm reading off of the screen here from the emails as well, and I think I've already done a video on this, but it's just very important that the timeline is coming up and that you don't want to miss this. Just block off a couple hours or spend 20 minutes, 3 or 4 days in a row to get all this stuff done. You do have to certify that you have actually worked for a public service loan provider. So you have to get some employment papers, okay? But one thing, if you don't think you're going to get all this paperwork done, just start the application. At least start it, and maybe there'll be some grace period for that. I don't know. I don't promise anything because I don't know. I'm just reading emails I get as well. But I think they want the entire application completed by October 31st. So credit is only given for periods when you were employed full-time since October 1st of 2007 by a government, a 501c3, not-for-profit, or other not-for-profit organization that provides a qualifying service. Okay, that's the first one. Second thing that hasn't changed, you have to make 120 qualifying payments or equivalent. So obviously since March of 2020, with the COVID, everything's been on this payment pause. Those time periods count, quote, as equivalent payments. Even though you physically did not pay anything towards your student loans, the time period is still in effect, and that almost 2.5 full years worth, right, of payments that count, or months that count towards the 120 payments. Okay, now here's the other thing, and this is all the certain ins and outs. So this has not changed either. This applies to direct loans. But if you have a FFEL, a Perkins, or other type of loans that are not direct loans, your consolidation application must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on October 31st, 2022 in order for you to receive the benefits of this limited PSLF waiver. So if for some reason you were told some other information, you need to consolidate any of your loans. All that stuff that application needs to be into the system by October 31st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So if you're not sure which type of loans you have, you can go ahead and sign on to the FSA site. It's https://studentaid.gov/FSA-ID/sign, SIGN-IN. There you go. And so do this. I can't keep stressing how much to do this, is because, you know, if it's going to take you a couple hours, if you're like, I don't have the time, I don't know if I qualify, just take a couple of hours, and if they're going to wipe off $10, $20, $30, $40,000 more, then I would do that. The other thing you may be thinking is, oh, well, Biden has already said he's going to give $10,000, wipe off $10,000 and $20,000 for student loans and Pell Grant recipients, so I qualify. Well, you know what? I don't want to be the negative Nelly here, but there's going to be a lot of lawsuits before that actually happens, so it may not happen. So if you think you qualify, like I said, through this program, definitely spend a couple hours this month and get all the paperwork in and just start on it. And, you know, if you do get that money wiped out, like, okay, you spent 3 hours and you get $30,000, you know, that's $10,000 an hour, right? So think of it that way if that helps you out. So it does give out some more information. So if you're eligible, or even if you've been denied in the past, you need to check to see whether your current employer qualifies they actually have a PSLF employer search. So use your employer's EIN number, and that's found on a W-2 form, from Box B of a W-2 form. So if you have any of your tax papers from previous years, you can use their EIN number and go to this database and see if it qualifies. All right, so that does give out some more information here, but the main website that you need to know is studentaid.gov/PSLF. So that's where all that information is. Okay, so remember, if you have other loans that are not direct loans, you have to submit a consolidation application online through the studentaid.gov site by October 31st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can receive the benefits of this limited waiver. All right, so that's all the information I have. If you probably got this email as well, I'm kind of scrolling through here. You can at least see on the screen what it is. You know, you don't have to have 10 years in a row. If you took some time off, or you went and worked for another employer for a short period of time, you just have to have 120 qualifying payments since 2007. So that's actually a 15-year time span, and we know the last 2.5 years, so that's 12, 24, we were in March, you know, about 30 payments that are already qualified, even though you didn't pay anything through the federal student loan pause program. All right, so best wishes for you. I really, really want you to, and here's a help tool down here. I really want to have the student loan debt wiped out from you, because that's just going to lift a great financial burden for you, for your family. And then obviously, by having more money because, you know, January 1st, the rest of us are going to start paying our student loans if they're not going to be forgiven, right? So, you know, if you don't have to be on that bandwagon, you don't have to start figuring out how you're going to pay an extra $200, $300, $400, $500 a month of student loans, then that's obviously going to put a huge financial impact on you and such as well, and your family. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to answer them if I can. I hope you have a wonderful day. Best wishes, and hope you get those student loans erased for your public service loan program. Thank you.